Welcome back. It is Monday, November 4th. The Lewisville City Council workshop session is now to order. We do have a quorum. First item on tonight's agenda is discussion of consent and regular agenda items. Council, if you go ahead and turn to your packets. We've got two presentations tonight as well with the Ternary Food Bank and the Parks and Recs with the financial support and sustainability. Councilmember Jones, I've got you for invocation. Councilmember Green, I have you for the pledges. We've got two proclamations and, of course, the red kettle. Hope everybody got their reminder today.
They have a QR code.
Oh, yeah, we got a QR code. We got a QR code. We can make it work. E1, continuation of the public hearing.
Mayor and Council, I did want to let you know that although the recommendation says consider, staff is recommending approval of the ordinance tonight. We've got all of our ducks in a row and ready to go.
Thank you. So glad.
Any questions or comments on E1? Public hearing number 2, special use permit for automobile repair.
Mayor and Council, on this one, I wanted to let you know that we have a replacement ordinance at your desk right now. The reason why we had to do this replacement ordinance was P&Z had recommended approval of the SUP for the entirety of the 1.5 acre tract of land. But during review of the ordinance for this council agenda, we discovered that there's actually an SUP on one of the suites in that property, so you would have an overlap of two different SUPs with two different conditions. And so the applicant actually had only requested it for a 1,800 square foot portion of the property. So just to align with what their request was, make sure there's not a conflict, we have a revised ordinance that clarifies that. And we do have a motion. I do need someone to accept that motion, sorry. We can fight over it later.
Everybody okay with that reduction in footprint for the SUP?
Yep.
All right. Consent agenda. Minutes. Approval of a lease with the Corps of Engineers for the lake. Approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement for library services with Denton County.
I'm excited that we continue to participate in this on some of our
I
major
am
cities.
too.
Yeah.
What are they doing? The ones, I mean, if we didn't participate in this,
Then the county would just
right?
yeah.
Of course we need to participate in it. That would be.
Well, and I want to point out that the county has, after cutting it for a few years, has started bumping it back up again. So I'm appreciative of the county for doing that. Item 6, financial support and sustainability strategy update. So this is the decision based on the information we're going to get in workshop.
Also to let you guys know that tomorrow morning we'll send you an email with the communication we're going to be sending to, if you approve this, the communication we're going to be sending to Thrive membership about the changes that will be in effect on December 1, and so that you'll have an idea, and then we'll send it out by noon tomorrow. That way we can get that in order by the time they have to sign up again for the classes.
Item 7, approval of designating Mayor Pro Tem Patrick Kelly and Councilmember Bob Troyer as our alternate voting delegates.
What do we really know about them?
My understanding is they're the only two left at the event during the time that the voting will take place.
The last two standing. The last two standing.
That makes us qualified.
Yes. Y'all are bona fide.
Since this is on the consent agenda, understand they are now going to be representing us nationally.
Okay, yeah. Oh.
Behave. Appreciate you guys.
And not go out Friday night.
No danger of that, Brian.
Thank you. Item 8, variance request for the UDC.
Mayor and Council, we have at your places a letter from that church saying they are not going to oppose, they're not opposing the sale of beer and wine.
What is the distance, just out of curiosity?
About 230 feet.
230.
Okay.
From door to door.
Oh, the actual distance, not the ordinance distance. Got it.
Yeah, ordinance is 300,
Right.
so.
230. That's the old tamale shop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Any other questions on 8? 9, ordinance of the Lewisville City Council for the appointment of the municipal judge and alternate judges. This is a requirement by state law. No questions on that. We've got reports and then return to workshop if necessary. No other questions or comments on the or on the agenda as a whole. We'll go ahead and move into workshop session item B, Tarrant Area Food Bank update. We have Ms. Julie. What's up?
Is there a closed?
There is no closed session.
There is no closed session?
No, hold it.
So next up, we have Ms. Julie Butner, President and CEO of the Tarrant Area Food Bank, to present regarding what's going on with Tarrant Area Food Bank. Welcome, Julie.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the welcome, Mayor Gilmore and Lewisville City Council. I appreciate being here. I don't think I've addressed this group before. It's the first time.
I don't believe so. I think this is the first time.
So thank you so much for having the Tarrant Area Food Bank.
No pressure.
I'm going to give you a little bit of background about who we are because you don't know who we are. But the reason why I'm standing in front of you today is because for the last 42 years, the County of Denton has been served by two food banks, North Texas Food Bank, which is in Plano, and Tarrant Area Food Bank, whose main campus is in Fort Worth. And that happened very organically as this county grew and the need to provide food to some of the community members surfaced. Nonprofits, churches and the like contacted both food banks kind of organically, asking for support with food. And so over the course of time, both North Texas Food Bank and Tarrant Area Food Bank provided these nonprofit organizations with food necessary to feed community members that were food insecure, so struggling to make it paycheck to paycheck and needed support with food. This is, again, organic, it's grown. And in this last 2-year period, North Texas Food Bank and Tarrant Area Food Bank have been reviewing your population growth and looking at ways that we could better support Denton County as you continue to grow, one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Texas, and secured resources to help us in that decision and ultimately decided a one food bank solution made the most sense, and that's what I'm going to walk you through. But before I go there, I just want to give you a little bit about who Tarrant Area Food Bank is. We started over 42 years ago. A concerned citizen wanted to start the food bank from her dining room table in Fort Worth, Texas. She was very connected to other community members. Somebody donated a food bank, and 45 years later, here we are, 125 employees, with a vision to ensure that everybody has access to the food they need and to empower our community to alleviate hunger and improve health. This is what we look like today, 125 full-time employees. We rely on over 30,000 volunteers who come to both locations that we have today, our main campus in Tarrant County, satellite facility in Parker County. This is the 2023 MAP, the Meal Gap Study, that shows what does food insecurity look like. You can see the statistics, and we drill that down into Denton County. There are approximately 114,000 people who are food insecure, meaning they go to bed at night not having eaten 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. And in those households, there are 34,000 children who are faced with food insecurity. Last year, Tarrant Area Food Bank across our 13 counties distributed 59 million meals. That came in the form of SNAP benefits. So I have a team of people who go out and enroll community members into the SNAP, the federal program, so that they can shop and buy food on their own. And then we have the food that's donated to us from the local retailers, distributors, manufacturers, and then we also have funding that comes from the federal government. So you can see down below our revenue sources to acquire this 59 million meals that we provide out into the community. Roughly 20% are government grants, and those come in the form of local city, local county, state, and federal grants. Over 1 million meals, so that, again, we're at 59 million meals a year. That's over 1 million meals a week, and we do that through these variety of sources. We have a distribution hub that helps us to mix the food. The 2 satellite locations, Tarrant Area Food Bank West, which has a brick and mortar, soon to be Tarrant Area Food Bank North. Today we're operating outside of Serve Denton. That is not a distribution center, and we clearly need one to cover Tarrant Area Food Bank North. We have what we call ready-to-learn in-school markets, so they're actually markets inside of schools. That's K through 12 as well as CNU.
How many of those do you have in Denton County? And have you thought about utilizing any of the schools in Lewisville?
Yes, ma'am. So we have 13 today. And
13 in Denton County?
13 in Denton County. We have 97 across our 13 county area.
Do we have any in Lewisville?
Not yet. We met with the Lewisville ISD and talked to them about this back in February, and they've asked us to hold off until the fall because they are looking at downsizing.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to wait until those
I think
decisions.
they've got 1 or 2 in the middle schools currently.
I don't know that they have the ready-to-learn in-school markets. They do have some backpack programs that will be transferred from North Texas over to Tarrant Area Food Bank. There are several of those. But what we have found
I
with
saw that
back-
article, that news article.
Oh, okay, so the problem with the backpacks is it's a small backpack and it's not enough food. So a child goes home on a Friday, they're carrying the backpack. You know, by the time they get home, they've eaten everything on the school bus or on their way home. So we like to provide an in-school market. Our public schools are trusted resources. Parents are bringing their kids there every day. And this allows community members to shop not just for the child, but also for the entire family. There is a plan. These things they don't come for free, and the school has to be bought into it because you need a space allocation in the school. You need racking, refrigeration, freezer, and so forth. But we have 13, and we're getting ready to, because we just transitioned, it was 13. We're going to have a big ribbon cutting ceremony in Denton to celebrate those 13 that's coming up in the next.
So all 13 of these are actually in Denton?
They're Denton ISD. They are not Lewisville ISD. Lewisville asked us to hold off until the fall.
Okay.
Yep. And then we also provide nutrition and food education so that folks who don't know how to make the dollar stretch or they aren't familiar with fresh produce can learn about that. And then our community resources, we do have a resources and education delivered bus, red bus. It's a big red bus that Cook Children's has sponsored for Denton County. And so that deploys the staff members that sign community members up for SNAP and other federal benefits that they qualify for. This is how food banking works. We get food from all these sources, the government commodity program, from farms, from grocery stores, from restaurants. It comes into the food bank and it comes in one truckload, right? So we might get a whole truckload full of chicken or an entire truckload full of beef. We have to check it in, we have scanners, we scan the product in, it goes into an inventory system, and then our volunteers, those 30,000 people that come and visit us, they take that food and they mix it into smaller quantities so that the nonprofit organizations that we work with right here in Denton County order what they need online, and then we can deliver that smaller quantity to the nonprofit, who then in turn provides the groceries.
So you actually deliver it, they don't have to use their trucks and come and pick it up?
No, we bring it.
Okay, great.
We bring it. So here we are, 42 years in Denton County. This is what we used to look like way back when. This is how we divided the county between us and North Texas. And then this is the most recent. It created a lot of confusion for folks because we had this green area that was kind of a shared area. And so many of our Denton stakeholders complained about this arrangement because they weren't sure which food bank was their partner food bank. And then ultimately, this is what Tarrant Area Food Bank has done in Denton County. I told you we have 114,000 people who are food insecure. Tarrant Area, North Texas, we distributed 10 million meals into Denton County. That's about 1.75 meals per person in need per week. Now think about that for a minute. 1.75 meals per week per person. That's not nearly enough. So we know we are not the sole source of food for Denton County, but we also know that we want that number to be higher. So we have a goal this year to go from 1.75 to 1.9 with a 3-year goal to get to 2.5. And that is above and beyond industry standard for food banks, but that is the standard that Tarrant Area Food Bank has for all 13 counties. We engaged SMU, a consultant, to help us look at the facts and data around Denton County in making this decision to move to a one food bank solution. And the study recommended that we have a distribution center in Denton County, and that we have a means by which to share data about how much food is actually getting out into the community, so that we really better understand what the meal gap is in Denton County. By operating under a one food bank solution, it's one operating system, and so collecting data and better understanding what the meal gap is going to be much easier to do with one food bank. They wanted us to formalize and strengthen the pantry network. So you can imagine if you had two food banks, half the nonprofits are operating over here and the other half are operating over here, not necessarily aligned or really taking advantage of the strength of the nonprofit network that's here in Denton County. Now we'll be able to do that. They talked and asked us and recommended that we address the meal gap as a systemic issue through multi-partnerships and multi-pantries. And again, one food bank will allow us to look at the entire county collectively and operate in a more aligned fashion. And then finally, the fifth recommendation was there's a need for a public awareness campaign. Many of the residents in Denton County don't know what the statistics are around poverty and food insecurity, and that we can play a vital role in helping to bring that forward. Ternary Food Bank went through a strategic planning session, and we too reached out to Denton County stakeholders for their insights. And as part of our strategic plan, these were our findings: that there is support for one food bank solution, that we do need to have a physical presence, that it is important for us to engage early and often with community leaders like city councils, like we're doing tonight, that we can help raise awareness of food insecurity and homelessness in Denton County. And that's really important because we rely so heavily on public support. So if you think back to that first slide I was presenting, only 19% of the support that we receive comes from the government. 19%. The lion's share of our support comes from individual public citizens that decide to donate $25 a month or $100 a month. 80% of what we work from comes from the public. So raising that awareness about food insecurity and homelessness in Denton County will help bring public support to help us take care of the citizens that need help in this county. Our vision for Ternary Food Bank North is to establish a satellite hub here, would support these three counties, Denton, Wise, and Cook. Now, if you look at the food insecurity population, 87% of it resides in Denton, among those three counties. Now, think about Cook and Wise. They're not very densely populated, and Denton is so quickly growing. We have people moving here all the time. So 87% of the food insecure population is living right here in Denton when you look at our Ternary Food Bank North footprint. We know we need to increase the food supply and distribution to get to the 1.9 and ultimately the 2.5. We also know we need more partner agencies and nonprofits that offer client choice markets. We know we need to increase access to community resources that address root causes. That SNAP benefit is vital. Other social determinants of health, housing, childcare cost, whether or not folks are making a living wage, all of those are root causes that create food insecurity. Ternary Food Bank North was established in FY21, and here we are starting FY25. So we've had Ternary Food Bank North for 4 years here in Denton, Cook, and Wise counties. Since that time, it was really a concerted effort by Ternary Food Bank to increase the meals. So before that, for 42 years, we brought food in here, but we never really looked at it based on facts and data. How many people are living in Denton County, and how has this county changed over the 42 years? And we quickly realized we needed to bring more food into Denton County. And so you've seen an 80% increase in the number of meals since FY21. And as I mentioned earlier, our goal is to increase that another 10% in this year.
Quick question on that. How close does that get you to your Feed America goal, and are those goals broken down by county?
So they're broken down by county.
Okay.
Our goal today exceeds what Feeding America expects us to do. Well over. We have a much higher target, even the 2.5. You look at that compared to other food banks, and we're one of the few that reaches that number, and that is our goal. And today we sit at 1.75. This year we'll be at 1.9. And a 3-year goal to get to 2.5.
Thank you.
One quick question.
Yeah.
You talked about an evaluating experience. Then you said a brand barrier to overcome. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so Tarrant Area Food Bank, when you say Tarrant, it just naturally rolls off your tongue. Tarrant County. And so when we say Tarrant Area, we're talking about 13 counties. Now, we did a brand study about the title and our logo and all of that about 5 years ago. And we were told, don't change. Enough people in the community know Tarrant Area Food Bank, and the majority of your funding is coming from Tarrant County, so don't change it. So that was 5 years ago. So the question will be, as we start rolling out, which we will start rolling out seriously in January, we were limited in doing that because of the North Texas Food Bank relationship, we will then reevaluate. But we want to give ourselves a good 18 months. Now, I will tell you, we have some experience with this because we have Tarrant Area Food Bank West that's in Parker County, and they didn't know us from Adam. And they are very proudful of Tarrant Area Food Bank West. And you might have heard recently that there is a university that has now done the same thing in Parker County, just putting that West on the end of their name. You asked a question, Jared just whispered it in my ear. Today, where we are with meals is twice the expectation from Feeding America. So it's double what we expected.
And that's for the entire Tarrant Area Food Bank?
That's for Denton County.
For Denton County, okay. For the half of Denton County that you serve?
Right.
Got it.
Overall, it's the total 10 million that we did with North Texas.
Okay.
But I will say this, Mayor, when you look at how many meals per person in need we supplied versus how many meals per person in need North Texas supplied, ours was greater. It has been for 2 years.
Good.
Okay, other services that we provide, we do our own distributions in Denton County. We have been because we haven't had enough partner agencies. On the west side, which is the side we've covered, I think with this transition, we won't have to do that anymore because there's enough of a network that can help us do it. Nutrition education, we have garden and farms here. We have community resources. We have the Red Bus. We have volunteer opportunities. And we have Ready to Learn in school markets today. And we just plan on expanding those services. The agreement very quickly was signed in July 2024. We started a transition and communication plan, developing that jointly with North Texas, and started enacting it in October, and the transition will be complete by mid-December. Now, the recognition of one food bank solution with Feeding America and with USDA and FDA and all the federal agencies that support us will be January 1st. I want to introduce you to Vicki Martinez. She is the Regional Vice President for Tarrant Area Food Bank North. She's kind of boots on the street. She is overseeing many of our relationships with partner agencies as well as elected officials. Kennedy, who's in the back, she's our government affairs representative, and she covers Tarrant Area Food Bank North. She reports into Jared, and it is her role to be the primary point of contact for all of our elected officials in Denton, Cook, and Wise County. So you'll be hearing from her a lot. These are some key dates. I'm not going to belabor this. You have it in your packet. It's a well thought out plan. We've been working on it for 2 years, knowing that there was going to be some movement and adjustment. with Denton County. And then when we decided one food bank in July, we just took that document and set it up so it really represents everything moving over to Tarrant Area Food Bank. So far, so good. Really proud of the work the team has done. We've been having weekly calls with Denton County stakeholders, and they have been going extremely well. It's been going on now for a month, since the 1st of October. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is, I've said this a couple of times now, we know that it's very important for us to have a physical presence here. From a logistics standpoint, it just makes a whole lot more sense to have that hub here rather than going back and forth 18 to 25 times a week between Denton County and our main facility, which is in Fort Worth, Texas. We also know it makes a lot of sense to have a physical presence if you're trying to engage the public, that they know that they have this community resource that is available to neighbors who need support. Local wants to support local, and so if we have a local hub, we will get more local public support. What questions can I answer for you?
I have a quick question, actually. I'm guessing the reasons for this, but given that this is serving North Texas, and given that North Texas Food Bank clearly doesn't have that name anymore, and half of this is not going to go over, why not use North Texas Food Bank as a?
That's a great question. North Texas Food Bank has 12 counties, and so they cover North Texas, those 12 counties, and so it's their name, not ours, and so I couldn't take it.
Even though this is Northwest Texas, or Northeast Texas, sorry.
Call us the Northwest Texas. No, I wish I could. Unfortunately, I think at the time, they got to the name faster than we did. Yeah.
I have a question about what area are you looking to put this hub in?
Well, I just went today and looked in Corinth, a building here in Corinth that's just getting stood up. So it needs to be somewhere in Denton County. It could be in Lewisville. It's just, we've been looking for about a year because we wanted to do that even before the decision to go to one food bank. Because logistically it makes much more sense, and because at that time the western side of Denton County did not, and it still doesn't, have enough nonprofits to distribute the amount of food we need to distribute, so we knew we were going to have to do some of it ourselves. But that's a long response, but somewhere in the southern part of Denton County would be ideal because it would be kind of halfway in between Wise and Cook and then our main facility. Yeah, so if you all know of anything, I'm all ears.
Well, I was hoping that was the answer. It wasn't just automatically going to be in Denton.
No, no ma'am. It'd be nice to be somewhere around here, actually.
So I think there's a few important data points for council to be kind of on their radar. My understanding is we were one of only 11 counties in the country that was split.
There's 20 area, 20, not
20, okay.
20. There are 200, so within the Feeding America network, there are 200 food banks. Of those 200, 20 had splits. Now, if you look at LA, there's LA County is split 5 ways.
Yeah.
So it's not
that's understandable.
No, so, but it was a very, but I mean, we were the exception, not the rule.
Right.
And I know for me, it made data collection really difficult because I'd get North Texas Food Bank and they had certain KPIs, and Tarrant Area Food Bank had similar but not quite the same KPIs, and so it just became really challenging to see which organization, and at the end of the day nobody cares where the food's coming from, they need access. I'm excited by the opportunity to get everything under one roof. I do think as a city we need to keep an eye out on folks and how we can help them make that move from North Texas to Tarrant area. The reason being is I think Denton County donated somewhere around $6 million in cash, basically, to North Texas Food Bank. Those are folks that are used to donating to North Texas Food Bank. It's going to be a challenge to get them to move that money to a different food bank. It's a branding thing. In fact, Patrick, I saw on one of the Castle Hills pages earlier this week about a food drive for North Texas Food Bank, and love it. It's awesome. we're going to need to work on how do we take Denton County and keep
That's a
Denton County.
marketing strategy that needs to happen.
Right, and we do have a marketing plan that is being rolled out. We've made an agreement with North Texas that we wouldn't be aggressively pursuing that until January 1st when the transition is complete. But I appreciate you saying the words that you did, because to the extent that all of you in the room heard the message and can help communicate to the community, people that you know, that one food bank solution, and it's Tarrant Area Food Bank, but we will be doing massive amounts of communication beginning in January. Yes, sir. Thank
Just to
you.
kind of give you guys some context of where the challenges will be for the next 6 to 8 months.
How big a facility do you need?
We're looking somewhere between 30 and 60,000 square feet.
Single story?
Ideally, yes.
Okay.
Docks, we need 2 inbound, 2 outbound.
Okay.
Place for a community market so neighbors can shop, and some office space.
Okay.
Yeah, if you know of anything, I'm all ears.
Other questions or comments? Julie, thank you. Thank your team. Really appreciate you being out here, and please keep us in the loop. There's a lot of things.
Yeah, thank you for the time. I appreciate being able to address the group, so appreciate that. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Financial Support Sustainability Strategy Update. We have our Director of Parks and Recreation, Ms. Stacy Anaya, to present.
Please, us.
Had to eat and run. So, Mayor, City Council members, park fans, going to walk you quickly through our strategy update. Thank you. We're going to give you background, talk about our current strategy, quick trends and analysis look, and then some recommendations. We started this back in 2018 when we were getting ready for Thrive, and we had some conflicting comments about what Thrive was going to be in terms of being for everyone and everyone in Lewisville having access, but we needed to achieve a 60 to 65% cost recovery rate there. And so that's kind of, there were some conflicting ideas about how we would move forward with that. And then we also needed to look at how we were going to have and fund our programs that, you know, some of our older programs at Herring and out at Railroad, and how would they coexist with Thrive operations. So rather than just pulling something out of the air, we wanted to have some philosophical discussions about how we get to cost recovery and really come up with a logical and intentional way to figure out how we would supplement limited tax dollars and make sure that we had equitable allocation of our resources, and making sure that everyone could have access to what programs and facilities we have. So as we walk through this, a couple of things to know. Cost recovery are revenues generated not only from fees, but what we might get from other charges, grants, donations, and it's usually expressed in a percentage. We look at community benefits, so how do we justify our greater subsidy or tax supported program, and this typically has a broad appeal and it's easy to access. And then individual benefit, that's where we start talking about a greater cost recovery expectation, if you pay for play, so to speak. And this is really, hey there. And then, so this is where we've got persons with special interest and might require higher competency or ability. And it's sometimes available in the private sector. And then our service categories, these are the types of services and activities we have. Instead of looking at it like aquatics, baseball, seniors, we wanted to talk a little bit about categories as a whole. For instance, a beginner softball player, a beginner interpretive dance, a beginner underwater basket weaver. They all have the same like kind of things that they bring to the table, right? Versus maybe an advanced underwater basket weaver or a dancer or a baseball player. So we went through and created service categories. We had 11 service categories that had support and cost recovery goals. We defined these categories and we kind of put them on a spectrum depending on benefit. We had the city council, some of you were involved in this, our park board, and a lot of city staff from the top to the bottom. We came up with service categories. This is non-monitored access. So those are just general parks. Community events, these are large special events that anyone can come to, have a broad appeal. Our dropped-in monitored access, that's like drop into facilities like our pools or Thrive. This is where like Thrive membership would exist on the spectrum. Enrichment activities, these are structured activities designed for, self-betterment. So think of our Roots for Wings program. Our drop-in activities, this is where you start getting to a little bit more structured programs led by staff. Think of our bingo and fitness, some of our fitness programs. You can come to these, you're not really building on anything. If you miss one class, you haven't really lost anything. And then with programs, beginners, these are our activities and courses where you're learning towards measurable outcome. You're gaining some skills. Our Learn to Swim program, maybe our T-ball programs. And then special events. This was like focusing on target markets where you might have to have registration. So maybe our daddy-daughter dance or our doggy dive-ins. And then program non-beginners. This is where you're starting to get a little bit more specialized, where you're learning an advanced skill over multiple meetings, and you're trying to attain some sort of measurable outcome. Think our select youth sports or adult sports there. And then rentals. This is a space or facility rentals. This is for your exclusive use. So you rent something, that not only means that that you're using it for your own benefit, but nobody else can use it. Private, semi-private instruction. This is where you're looking at like our one-on-one swim lessons or maybe personal training at Thrive. And then food and beverage and merch. These are items for sale for public consumption. Thrive t-shirts, maybe Cheetos out of the vending machine. And then as we went through and said, okay, this is what our activities are, this is what our categories are, we placed them on a spectrum for support. And those service categories with a larger community benefit were tagged with a larger support goal or threshold, where non-monitored access, that has a wide community benefits parks existing for everybody. We're going to support that at 95 to 100% tax supported. And as you go up the spectrum and you get a more individualized benefit, there is an expectation that the person or persons participating should pay a higher amount for the provision of that service. This is what that looks like with your support goal and then the yang of the cost recovery goal there, and how that falls out. So once we established those, that helped us set program fees for new programs coming in. We look at not only what our cost recovery rate needs to be, but what our larger goals for the program are and how that meets our departmental goals and objectives. And then every year we do an annual cost recovery analysis once the fiscal year is closed, and we assign program cost, facility cost, indirect cost, and then direct cost. So facility, like all the building stuff, indirect, maybe a little bit of my salary, and then the direct cost, if you have a basketball program, the cost of the 10 basketballs and the coach. And then we measure this against the revenue per participant or occurrence for each of the activities. And generally, we look at the whole category, but we also look at it individually with the activities. So we got rolling in November with the adoption of it in November, or actually that's actually June of 2019, and it made it possible that we could meet those dueling goals. With the membership at Thrive could be low, everyone could get in, then we would move forward with an a la carte menu and cost for all the programs beyond that. Unfortunately, we had some delays to implementing the strategy because of COVID. We kind of had to go away from our planned fee structure because we were really worried about what was the financial future going to look like. So let's focus on getting high number of memberships, and then we'll figure it out from there. So we had an all-inclusive annual membership. You pay there and you get everything, either those all those one-off classes free. We also had the closure and re-envisioning of Herring, and this is where we started running our Play Lewisville on Wheels program, really focusing on the outreach. And then also during the time of COVID, not only did our large special events like Western Days and Colorpalooza end, but we also ended our Toyota sponsorship at Railroad, which had funded a whole bunch of things. So we went ahead and just renewed as is in November of 2021, just because of our limited programs and data. And now we're kind of living the new normal, so we have a new program menu, and we've kind of normalized our schedule, and we've had some analysis for fiscal year 22 and 23. All right. So this is what the last couple of years look like. The first several years, we were just hovering down here. We didn't really meet any of the goals. And now we see some of our categories are starting to move into attainment. These represent the ranges that you saw on the spectrum and some of the improvement that we're seeing there. This is that chart reimagined just in a table. And what I like about this chart is that, one, it shows how we're improving in our cumulative rates and where we're hitting our goals, but it also shows how many more activities we're providing at each of our facilities and with each of the categories. You can see the jump in our drop-in activities and our enrichment activities. Rentals are soaring, just generally the number of activities that we're doing, and we're getting better on our cumulative rate. Some of the analysis, when we first started community events, that was really created with the idea that the community relation and tourism events would be included in the analysis. And that just never worked out, not only with COVID, but with some of the issues we have with our accounting. So we've just moved those out and don't really do an analysis there. And now all of our community events are really focused on our plow deployments. Our dropped-in monitored access, we were pretty steady there, but the combined Thrive and Herring membership had a little bit of an impact on our performance in fiscal year 23. With enrichment activities, we saw a boost in senior activities at Thrive, but mainly those are free activities, so it kind of weighted that down a little bit, but LELA programs are improving, and we've increased the number of fitness activities at Thrive, and we talked a little bit about how that fee structure impacted it. Program beginners, we've moved the Youth Sports Participant Association with league agreements into this activity. When we first started, one of the things that we noticed is that they were counted as rentals, and as we've made improvements to how we handle those agreements, we've moved those over to program beginners. Private instruction, that is, for us, that is so heavy on swim lessons, it's rarely going to meet its goal because of how much it costs to run the pool, but we just kind of know that there. And then our rentals, Thrive Rentals coming back on the scene, helped us get along. And do we need to?
When you're done with this slide.
All right. So they're coming back on the scene. That's why we met a lot of our goals, and our pavilion rentals remain strong. And then with merchandise, one of the things that's hard there is we don't do a accrual accounting. So one year it can look like we don't meet it, and then the next year it looks like we far exceeds it. And it might just be because we buy merchandise in one fiscal year and realize the revenue in the next.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and go open the council meeting, and then we're going to come back in here because the rest of this presentation is not presented out, or it's not loaded up out there, it's loaded in here.
Yeah.
So we'll come right back to here, we'll finish this one up, and then go back to regular council. All right, we will resume the workshop after we open the council meeting.
I'll wait for you, okay.
Good evening and welcome to this regular session of the Lewisville City Council. We do have a quorum. We're going to call this meeting to order. First up, I do have Councilmember Brandon Jones with tonight's invocation. Councilmember Jones.
Please join me in a moment of silent contemplation and prayer. Thank you.
Councilmember Green.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, as we do have just a few more minutes of our workshop session to complete, we're going to go return to workshop in the side room. Y'all are welcome to join us in that room if you'd like, or you can sit there, but that room's a little smaller than this one, just so you know. So we will be back here in just a few minutes to finish up workshop.
So, even after we look at the trends, just because something's not meeting its cost recovery goal, it doesn't mean that we automatically say the goals that we're going to cut the program. We'll look not only at that support and cost recovery goal, we'll look a little bit closer at the direct cost. We'll look at the market position and is it meeting our service category goals? Are we seeing new users come in? Are we having participant retention? And do we have high participant satisfaction? And if some of these and most of these are yes, what we try to do is we try to reduce cost, perform a market analysis, see if we just need to increase fees or should we do some incentive pricing. Can we identify some sponsors and donors that might be interested in the program? And if all those things kind of fail and we've kind of got something that's struggling, at that point we might need to consider for divestment. So what we've done with the Parks and Recreation Department is we went through here and we considered updates to service categories based on some of the information that we showed you earlier. Should we update the support ranges? And then should we codify some updates or should we just set the strategy as is? And then if you do approve any updates, how would we integrate those into our policies and procedures and the future budget development process? So our recommendations are, one, because we really aren't using community relation tourism events in the analysis we're doing, we're going to go ahead and recommend that we remove those events and then we just rename that service category as outreach and inclusion, and that we so that would reflect our new menu program, and that we, focusing on our plow and our Nature on Wheels, our Walk with the Dock program, and that support range would be 85 to 95%. We feel that the activities in this group where we have some capacity to generate some revenue, and that some donors or grants would be able to help with that. And at one point we thought about just cutting the merchandise for sale category, but we have some really innovative and entrepreneurial team members at Thrive that really want to keep it and shoot for an online on-demand system instead of cutting it, so that we're not holding inventory and people can really buy to their liking versus us trying to guess what the trends are. If we did that, this is where that outreach and inclusion category would go. On the spectrum, it would be a highly supported category with a large community benefit, especially with all the outreach we'd be doing. And then some of the other updates and modifications that we want to do is we want to begin to implement the original plan for pay for play at Thrive, which would mean that not all fitness or aquatic classes at Thrive will be included in the annual membership. We'll start charging annual members that add-on fee for that class, which is about anywhere between $6 to $10 a class. And if you remember looking at our Thrive membership numbers, monthly members are, people who pay monthly memberships already pay that add-on fee. This will only impact annual members. We want to focus on improving our cost recovery in low risk, low direct cost areas such as our pavilion rentals and sport field rentals, which we've moved online now, so we're hoping to see a gain there. And then we want to enhance our efforts to find sponsors, especially for those outreach and inclusion things. And then we'll continue to identify and implement cost reduction strategy and improve our assignment of program cost as we do our analysis each year. For a quick reminder, this is what our Thrive membership structure is. We are almost at 20,000 members at Thrive if you count annual and monthly members. The majority of people that will be impacted by the change will probably be in the adult and the family categories here. If you remember when we looked at that, this also kind of gives us a backbone for having our non-resident fee, because the membership is so highly supported by our tax base. Those non-residents aren't paying for that, right, through taxes. So this is where it kind of gives us the backbone for our non-resident fee. So our next steps are, if y'all approve our recommendations, we'll go into our housekeeping procedures. We will update our procedures and processes to accommodate the new financial support and sustainability strategy. We'll continue to measure FY24 against the old strategy, but then we'll also start implementing that class fee structure at Thrive, and that will go into effect for the program starting December 1st. People register for classes at Thrive on the 26th of the prior month, so we'll send out some information tomorrow and get them prepped for when they go to register for the classes. And then we will start building our FY26 budget based on that strategy. Any questions?
Council, just to be clear, there is a consent agenda item on this to go ahead and approve it. So since it's consent agenda, here's your last bite of the apple.
I just have a quick comment. I mentioned this when you showed this to us earlier. Can you go back to that upward, that line right there? I got to say, I use this as an example. I was thinking in an executive meeting I had just recently. I'm so impressed by this. This is awesome. A good manager would work out spreadsheets and counted bats and counted baseballs and projected out, population growth, stuff like that. This is a much better way of doing this. So, super impressed by this. I just wanted to say it again.
Well, thank you. Well, we do that too, and I have to give credit to Jose Marinas and Erica Tang. They carry the bulk of the work on this, and so they do actually have that spreadsheet with a number of bats and balls. But we just show it to you in this.
Other questions, concerns, comments?
I like spreadsheets, so.
She said she might let me see it.
Fair enough. Listen, I thank you so much. Appreciate all the work that all the staff has done to do this and make this an equitable program.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to call this meeting of the Lewisville City Council regular session back to order, and I have a couple of proclamations and recognitions to give out, so just one moment. All right, first one up. Where are my police property team? You got to come up here. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Great job. Y'all do all the great work. Thank you. All right, I want to talk to you about some heroes that don't get enough credit, because without them, there's this whole thing called chain of custody. That when we take in evidence and in a police case, if that particular piece of evidence, we don't know where it was or who had it at some point, it no longer is evidence. So without them, people don't go to jail for a long time. So I want to be thankful, and we need to point that out every once in a while. So I've got some whereases. Y'all know I love the call and response. So if there's a whereas and you want to participate, just say whereas with me, okay? So whereas the City of Lewisville Police Department Property and Evidence Division is responsible for receipt, documentation, and storage of all incoming physical and digital property and evidence, preserving all property and evidence, and lawfully releasing or disposing of all evidence, and whereas the police property and evidence staff responds to requests from internal and external customers and is integral to building relationships with other police agencies, governmental entities, and other organizations promoting intra-agency communication. And whereas the police property and evidence staff currently retain approximately 100,000 physical property items, intakes approximately 6,000 items annually, releases or disposes of approximately 8,500 items, and are responsible for maintaining the chain of custody for evidence to assist in the prosecution of cases. And I love y'all. The City of Lewisville recognizes the importance of every law enforcement position in service to our community. Now, therefore, I, T.J. Gilmore, Mayor of the City of Lewisville, Texas, and on behalf of the Lewisville City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of November 11th through 15th, 2024 as Police Property and Evidence Week in Lewisville, Texas, and urge all residents to express their appreciation to the Lewisville Police Department property and evidence staff for their dedication and contribution to the community. And also, please don't give them any evidence. Let's give them a hand.
Hi, I'm Cindy Reed, Supervisor of the Property and Evidence Division. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for recognizing my girls. We, like the Mayor said, we are kind of behind the scenes and we're not as visible as, the officers on the street. But we are very proud members of the Lewisville Police Department with our fabulous chief leading us and our Commander Mays and Administrator Wymack back in the back, always having our back. So we're very proud members of the Lewisville PD and proud to serve the community.
Can't wait for that new property building to get up out of the ground. All right, and I believe we have my animal services team. Yep. You got to do the same thing, sorry. I got a lot more hands to shake, so thank you guys, appreciate all you do. Thank you so much. Glad you're here. Thank you. Glad to see you. How you doing? Glad you're here. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right? Plenty of space. Take it all. It's all good. It's all good. There's an empty chair back there, I think, if somebody needs it. All right. So this is our animal services team. And folks, you don't know how important animal services is until you start reading what goes on Nextdoor and Facebook and some of these other places, and how many animals are out there that need our help, need some assistance, how many families need to be reunited. And sometimes the hard work of taking a dangerous animal out of the community is also part of the work. And it's hard because we have so many folks today that have animals or don't take care of their animals, getting them spayed or neutered. And so we have millions of animals that don't have homes in this country, and tens of thousands of them that come through our city. It's not a small number at all. There's a reason we're looking to expand the animal shelter, quite frankly. So these folks have a really hard job. They have a really great job as well when they get to reunite families, but that's not the entirety of the work. So I'm very grateful for all of the work that they have to do. So whereas the Humane Society of the United States has designated the first full week of November as National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week to honor animal shelters across the country, and whereas Lewisville Animal Services plays a crucial role in our community by providing shelter, care, and protection to animals in need 24/7. The dedicated staff and volunteers demonstrate unwavering compassion and resilience as they work tirelessly to care for and find loving homes for homeless animals. Additionally, like all local government employees, there are critical times when animal service officers are called upon to act as first responders. And whereas Lewisville Animal Services fosters a culture of compassion and responsibility towards animals by promoting responsible pet ownership, advocating for animal welfare, supporting the human-animal bond, and inspiring our community to take action and promote humane treatment of all living beings. And whereas National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week serves as an opportunity to recognize and support the invaluable work of our local animal shelters through volunteer efforts, donations, and engagement. And now, therefore, I, T.J. Gilmore, Mayor of the City of Lewisville, and on behalf of the Lewisville City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of November 3 through 9, 2024 as Animal Services Appreciation Week in Lewisville, Texas, and urge all residents to acknowledge and support the important work of the Lewisville Animal Services at the Jean Carey Animal Shelter and Adoption Center. Consider visiting, adopting, or fostering a pet, and participate in local initiatives that promote the welfare of animals. Together, let us celebrate the love, joy, and companionship that animals bring to our lives. Let's give them a hand.
I'm Amanda Earl, the Animal Services Administrator, and I get the great pleasure of working with this amazing team. Why do I do this? I don't know why I do this. Anyway, these guys are amazing. They work so hard to make sure that our animals are taken care of in our community, and our community is taken care of. So if you ever need assistance with critters, please call us. If you need a critter, we can hook you up. So come on down to the shelter. It's not just dogs and cats. We get rabbits and guinea pigs and all the weird little things. Or if you just need a critter fix, just come and visit the animals. We have plenty of wonderful animals to visit with in a gorgeous animal shelter that the city helps support. So come on down and visit us. We're just down the road.
It's because you are. All right. Awesome. Thank you all. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks. By the way, go to the shelter to find your pet. There is no reason to buy an animal. None whatsoever. Even if you're looking for a specialty breed, you will find them at the shelter. It's amazing.
You will.
Ronnie knows.
I do know.
All right, item D, Salvation Army. We have the National Red Kettle Kickoff, and I think we maybe have a little bit of a challenge to coming on. So, y'all, take it away.
Well, this holiday season, our Salvation Army is showing that love exists beyond the most difficult situations. Need knows no season. The efficiency of our vast network and service systems across North Texas ensures we provide year-round support to those facing poverty, addiction, and homelessness. The reality of Christmas season is that many are left to choose between those things like gifts under the tree or food on the table. And the DFW region's inflation rate has been even higher than the national average. With families facing rising costs because of inflation, they'll have to make hard choices of how to stretch household budgets. Those choices may leave children without presents under the tree because the money must be spent on other essentials. But as long as resources are available, as long as support is available, the Salvation Army will be here to help neighbors pay their bills, put food on the table, gifts under the tree, roofs over their heads, and provide shelter for those without a home. And I just want to share with some facts about Denton County and especially Lewisville. And over 62,000 pounds of food here in Lewisville distributed in the last year, 28,570 meals served in Denton County, 14,950 here in Lewisville. And up in Denton, we've sheltered 4,665 people, and we've sent 210, I believe, from Lewisville there. Over 100,000 people served through the year-round programs, 4,731 here. And households that were exited to other housing were 84, and then we had 62 of those here in Lewisville. So the Salvation Army Red Kettle season kicks off in early November. It runs through Christmas Eve. And hopefully you'll see enthusiastic, I know the mayor is enthusiastic when he's out there, bell ringers and those red kettles at around 25 locations in southern Denton County. We're very grateful to Mayor Gilmore, and who has already signed up to volunteer to help raise our vital dollars that will stay right here in Lewisville to provide hope and help all throughout the year. And so Mayor Gilmore and city staff will be ringing Salvation Army Bell at our Red Kettle on Saturday, December 14th. That's a very special day. That's my wife's birthday. So for her birthday, I would appreciate it if you would support the mayor and his team at the Sam's Club on Main Street. So your partnership assists the Salvation Army in serving, all with the love and support needed to find a new way forward this holiday season and beyond. We are very grateful for your help leading the charge of challenging your fellow mayors to join you in the 2024 Salvation Army Mayoral Red Kettle Challenge. So this year, it's critical to recruit even more volunteers to cover our Red Kettle locations. I mean, we've got to have those covered so that we can raise the critical funds. And if a kettle location isn't staffed, we can't secure those vital funds needed to help hardworking families keep the food on the table and a roof over their heads. So please join our Red Kettle campaign. You can go to registertoring.com and you can sign up to ring there yourself or with a group, family and friends. It's always fun to do it with family and friends. And we would love to have you adopt a day to ring bells for us, or a full day is a great way to do that. We go from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., but we can also adjust that a little bit for your needs. So we are really needing to push toward the weekends because those are the most busy in the stores. So we very much appreciate your help. So bell ringing, it's fun, it's festive. It's an activity that you can showcase your creative spirit and talents. And we encourage your team to support your site in a festive costume. I can't remember what you wore last year. I know it was a hat, but anyway. Family, friends, we very much appreciate people coming out, and you have a great time doing that. Now, if you're thinking about tonight and it's raining and you're like, my day to ring is raining, I don't want to go and do that, fear not. There is a virtual Red Kettle. You can sit in your jammies at home and ring a virtual Red Kettle bell and raise money, and you can invite your friends and family to support you there. And that QR code, which I forgot to, David Fieser is with me. David, would you help me with the sign here, please? He's on our CRD team. So there's a QR code, and that supports Mayor Gilmore's Red Kettle, so you can give online virtually, and we invite you to put money in the kettle tonight. But thank you, Mayor Gilmore, and the city council members for partnering with us, the Salvation Army, and helping keep hope alive right here in Lewisville, Texas. Thank you all for having us.
Well, it wouldn't be a Red Kettle Challenge if I didn't walk over there and put some cash in the kettle. So if any of you are so moved tonight, we can go ahead and get this kicked off, because quite frankly, I have a bell to defend. There's a Mayor's Challenge bell that's sitting up in the 3rd floor right now, and if you come out on Saturday, you can ring my bell. So here we go.
Wow. That's real. Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Right, just QR code. What's that?
Knocked over the computer.
Oh.
I got some.
That is so awkward. So awkward. Don't let Mayor Wilcox know that.
Can you like cut and paste and actually put that one on Mayor Wilcox?
That'd be even better. Thank you. Appreciate you guys and all the work that you do for the community. All right, item E1, public hearing. Continued public hearing, consideration of an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance by amending ordinance number 0428-22-ZON to rezone approximately 10.207 acres located on the northeast corner of Lady Tesla Avenue and Essex Boulevard, legally described as 10.207 acres out of the Amos Singleton Survey, abstract 1138, from Plan Development Multifamily 3 District to Plan Development Townhouse 2 District, to amend the Plan Development Concept Plan as set forth in Exhibit 5B, the Realm Subdistrict Concept Plan, thereto by amending the Concept Plan for 50.562 acres located north of Lady Tesla Avenue, legally described as 50.562 acres out of the Amos Singleton Survey, abstract 1138, and the Benjamin Schoonover Survey, abstract 1209, as requested by Patricia Fant of McAdams on behalf of Eric Stanley of Brico Lands, CH LLC, the property owner, case number 24-04-2-PZ. The City Council opened the public hearing for this item on August 19th, 2024, and continued the public hearing during the 4 subsequent City Council meetings to allow for a neighborhood meeting and finalize details related to open space and building setbacks. Castle Hills Plan Development PD District Ordinance Number 0428-22-ZON incorporates provisions of the Castle Hills Development Agreement along with the variances to the agreement approved since 1996. The PD allows changes to base zoning districts and the sub-district concept plans following the zoning processes in the Unified Development Code. The applicant is requesting to change the base zoning district on 10.207 acres from Plan Development Multifamily 3 District to Plan Development Townhouse 2 District to allow for a front entry townhome community where multifamily development had originally been planned. The proposed changes also necessitate an amendment to the approved concept plan. The concept plan for the Realm South Subdistrict is being amended in its entirety. However, the changes only impact 50.562 acres, which includes the 10.207 acres proposed for rezoning. The proposed concept plan amendment consists of the addition of the proposed townhomes along with a reconfiguration of the remaining multifamily units. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval unanimously 5-0 on August 6, 2024. It is recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above. And we do have Mr. Richard Lutke, our Planning Director, available for questions, as is Mr. Eric Stanley. Public hearing is now open. I do not have any requests for comment at this time. So, Council, if there are any questions or comments, if not, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I want to make a quick comment here. This was actually kind of exciting. This was how this was supposed to work. So we had citizens that got involved. We had our developer over here who listened to the citizens. We continued this meeting 3 or 4 times to make sure all input was received. I know Richard did a fantastic job doing some negotiation kind of in the 11th hour, but this was a great process. Maybe not happen as fast as everybody'd like, but I really appreciate everybody's hard work in getting to the bottom of this and getting to what it looks like is a great resolution, given that we don't have any citizens here tonight to oppose or speak up about this. And I've been watching my email all day, haven't received any emails from anybody, did a outreach to a couple people, they came back and said it looks good. So with that, unless somebody else wants to say anything, I want to motion to close the public hearing.
Well, I just wanted to reiterate what you just said, because I was going to say the exact same thing, that I'm really proud of how the developer worked with the community to come to this resolution. And I, too, got 0 emails about this case today. And so I think we got it right. Thank you for your patience.
I think we all echo the same sentiment. Thank y'all very much.
All right, I have a motion on the table.
I'm going to second that.
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Council, if you'd please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Council, I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
Mayor, I move to approve the ordinance as written in caption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, please vote.
Oh, Mayor,
Oh, sorry, got a city attorney to read here, yep.
this is an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council amending the zoning ordinance by amending ordinance number 0428-22-Z0N to rezone approximately 10.207 acres located on the northeast corner of Lady Tasala Avenue and Essex Boulevard, legally described as 10.207 acres, out of the Atmos Singleton Survey, Abstract 1138, from Plan Development Multifamily 3 PDMF 3 District to Plan Development Townhouse 2 PDTH 2 District, to amend the Plan Development Concept Plan set forth in Exhibit 5B, the Realm Subdistrict Concept Plan, thereto by amending the concept plan for 50.562 acres located north of Lady Tasala Avenue, legally described as 50.562 acres out of the Amos Singleton Survey, Abstract 1138, and the Benjamin Schoonover Survey, Abstract 1209, correcting the official zoning map and list of existing planned development districts, preserving all other portions of the zoning ordinance, determining that the zoning amendment herein made promotes the health, safety, and general welfare of the city, providing for repeal or severability, a penalty, and an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
Council? Motion passes unanimously. Thanks to all involved in that one.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Stanley. Item 2, public hearing, consideration of an ordinance granting a special use permit for automobile repair minor on approximately 1.5871 acres, legally described as Lot 9, Block A, Fairway Business Park, located at 1504 Eagle Court, zoned light industrial district, as requested by Texas Star Automotive Services on behalf of AIP Eagle Court LLC, the property owner. Case number 24-08-15-SUP. Texas Star Automotive Services is an automotive glass business that replaces, repairs, and recalibrates automotive glass. The business will operate from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and will not store any vehicles outside the premises. The type of business is considered an automobile repair minor in Lewisville's Unified Development Code and requires the approval of a special use permit. On March 15, 2021, the City Council approved an SUP for minor automobile services at 1504 Eagle Court for a different suite. This new SUP will allow any automobile repair minor use to operate out of any lease space at the location with the requirement that no automobile be stored outside. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended unanimous 5-0 approval on October 1st, 2024. And it's recommended that the City Council approve an alternate ordinance that we have here that is limited to the suite itself.
It's actually limited by square footage.
By square footage.
And not overlapping the other SUP.
Yep. Council will need to discuss that alternative or approve that alternative announcement. Mr. Richard Lutke is available for questions, and this public hearing is now open. I don't have any comments from the public on this one. If there are no comments or questions from council, I'll entertain a motion to close.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion to close the public hearing is unanimous to close. Council will need to have a new motion, and I believe, Councilmember Meredith, do you have that? All right.
Yes, Mayor. I move to approve an amended ordinance which clarifies that this SUP is granted on a portion of approximately 1.5871 acre tract legally described as Fairway Business Park Addition, Lot 9, Block A, located at 1504 Eagle Court, save for the portion of the tract specified by and subject to Ordinance 0317-21-SUP.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you'd please vote.
Mayor?
Oh, I keep jumping the gun on that one.
This is an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council amending the zoning ordinance by granting a special use permit for automobile repair minor on a portion of an approximately 1.5871 acre tract of land legally described as Fairway
Fairway Business Park Addition, Lot 9, Block A, located at 1504 Eagle Court, save for the portion of the track specified by and subject to Ordinance 0317-21-SUP and Zone Light Industrial LI District, providing for repeal or severability, penalty, and an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
Now the council can vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Item F, Visitors Citizens Forum. Speakers must address their comments to the mayor rather than to individual council members or staff. Speakers should speak clearly and state their name and address prior to beginning their remarks. Speakers will be allowed 5 minutes for testimony. Speakers making personal, impertinent, profane, or slanderous remarks may be removed from the meeting. Unauthorized remarks from the audience, stamping of feet, whistles, yells, clapping, and similar demonstrations will not be permitted. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the City Council is restricted from discussing or taking action on items not listed on the agenda. Action can only be taken at a future meeting. I do have one request to appear for the Citizens Forum, and that is with Ms. Nancy Sansom.
Good evening, all of you.
Hey, Nancy.
Wonderful people. My name is Nancy Sansom. I have lived at Evergreen for going on 6 years. I'm the coordinator and spokesperson for the Lewisville Senior Living Challenges organization. We give our voice to the Lewisville seniors as they deal with these many challenging times. We would like to express our many thanks to the Mayor Gilmore for his efforts and time spent helping Evergreen to be a designated pickup and drop location with Go Zone transportation that takes us to various doctors and dental appointments throughout the area, excluding Flower Mound. This transportation is very important to us. And SPAN, thanks to the mayor, covers Lewisville seniors needing medical needs and professionals in Flower Mound. Thanks to the mayor, the SPAN is available for transportation from Lewisville to Flower Mound and back. We're very grateful for that. And this is a picture of last month, the proclamation with the mayor in the middle. Show it to the rest of them too. Also, a big thank you to the mayor and council for our organization being recognized and given a proclamation in recognition of our work with seniors needing assistance in remediation through our many nonprofit agencies, the city mayor, the councilman, Claire Bloom, and her fantastic staff. We're very appreciative. We have enjoyed working with Elena Sheehan. She's a volunteer city Lewisville worker this fall with their various Lewisville events involving tiny houses concept and the contest to pick the best drawing from many age groups on December 2nd at City Hall at 4 o'clock. The Cross Timbers Rotary Club has awarded us after Jake and I went to the Rotary Club. We gave him a PowerPoint presentation and told him we'd love to have a wheelchair garden accessible in the back property. And so we were able to get $1,500 to help with that project.
That's awesome.
So, however, our wheelchair people, many of them have moved, so we're hoping we can get a cabana there where people can sit there in the shade and enjoy the gardens, because it's a real nice garden there. We continue to meet and work with the city management staff in improving street crossings and new senior low-income housing among many areas. They are helping us to solve, and we appreciate them, all of them. Thank you again for being the best of the best at getting different issues done, because you focus on the important needs of our community. We've all been blessed with that.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for all of your hard work. And while I appreciate the recognition, understand that there are a tremendous amount of people that support me and support this council, support Denton County Transportation Authority, as well as resources in the county. So I will take that recognition and make sure that it's spread around to all the people who truly, truly have worked hard to deserve that. So thank you for that, Nancy. All right. Item G, consent agenda. All the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. For a citizen to request removal of an item, a speaker card or e-comment must be filled out and submitted to the city secretary. I have no requests for comment, so council, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Consent agenda is approved unanimously. Item H, regular hearings. Consideration of a variance request to the Lewisville Unified Development Code, Section 7.4.1, sale of alcoholic beverages for SBF Operating LLC, doing business as Sullivan's Barbecue, as requested by Terry Sullivan, owner of Sullivan Old Town Barbecue, located at 301 South Mill Street, Lewisville, Texas. An application for the legal sale of mixed beverages in restaurant by food and beverage certificate holders only has been submitted for the Sullivan Old Town Barbecue located at 301 South Mill Street. After staff review, it has been determined that the site does not meet the city regulations that require the site to be 300 feet from a church, measured front door to front door. Terry Sullivan is seeking a variance to this regulation, and it is recommended that the city council consider the variance requested as set forth in the caption. Council presented to us as an email that came in this afternoon at 5:10 p.m. From Ms. Beatrice Jasso, who is acting on behalf of Ministerio Cristo La Luz del Mundo, which is the impacted church. They are writing this email to inform us that they are not opposed to the sale of beer and wine at Sullivan's Barbecue. With that, council, any discussion, comments, or motion?
I'll motion to approve the variance request as set forth in the caption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes 6-0. I want to thank Ms. Jasso for working with Mr. Sullivan, and I want to thank Mr. Sullivan for reaching out to the community to work through this. Item 9, consideration of an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council appointing the municipal judge and alternate judges of the Municipal Court of Record Number 1 in the City of Lewisville to 2-year terms, designating a presiding judge, providing a repealer, severability, and effective date, and declaring an emergency. Chapter 30 of the Texas Government Code requires that municipal courts of record be presided over by judges who are appointed by ordinance. The ordinance authorizes municipal judges to serve for a designated term of 2 years and to be submitted for consideration to the council biennially. In the event the ordinance is not renewed and no affirmative action is taken to appoint a new judge or judges, the previously appointed judge or judges continue to serve in a holdover capacity. Currently, the presiding judge is Brian Holman, and the alternate or part-time judges are Kimberly Lafferty, Holly Fox, Rajesh Jose, and Robin Ramsey. Alternate judges provide magistration services in the city jail on weekends and holidays and assist the presiding judge with court and other judicial duties during periods of vacation, illness, or when administrative duties require his absence. It's recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above. Judge Holman is available for questions if we have any, and if there are no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve the ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. City Attorney?
This is an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council appointing the municipal judge and alternate judges of the Municipal Court of Record Number 1 in the City of Lewisville to 2-year terms, designating a presiding judge, providing a repealer, severability, and an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
Council? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item I, reports. Reports about items of community interest regarding which no action will be taken. I'm going to start over here to my right with Councilmember Meredith.
Yes, Mayor, I've got some library activities for the week. Gratitude cards for adults, Wednesday, November 6th, 6:30 to 7:30. Crawford Meeting Room, registration is required. What is mental health for teens? 13 to 18 only, Thursday, November 7th, 6:30 to 7:30. Bennett Program Room, no registration required. And Story Stroll, Story Time at East Hill Park for families with children of all ages, Friday, November 8th, 9 to 9:30 a.m., East Hill Park, no registration or ticket required. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Troyer?
Yes, Mayor. I have a number of activities from the Lewisville Grand Theater. In fact, quite a number of activities. First of all, Disney's The Little Mermaid. These are performances. Disney's The Little Mermaid, presented by the Christian Youth Theater of DFW, November 1st through the 3rd, and 8th through the 10th, with 2 performances on the 2nd and 2 performances on the 9th. That's of November. Broadway Out of Bounds, Song of Hope and Love Benefit Concert, presented by our production theater company on November 10th. Acoustic Friday Songwriting Challenge will be presented by the Visual Art League of Lewisville on November 15th. An Evening of Classical Favorites, presented by the Lewisville Lake Symphony on November 15th. Black Box Songwriter Series, Eliza Gilkinson, presented by the City of Lewisville on November 17th. And as always, the acoustic jam sessions on Friday evenings, 6 to 9, presented by the Visual Art League of Lewisville. And activities. Lots of stuff going on. Lewisville Grand participating as a location in an open studio tour presented by the Cross Timbers Artists Guild. That's November 8th through the 10th. Weekend Art Card with Mask Cards at the Grand, presented by David Mask, November 8th through the 10th. Art Talk, Big Ideas, presented by the Visual Art League of Lewisville on November 12th. Yoga in the Plaza, presented by Blue Anjou Studio, Wednesdays in Wade Ferguson Plaza. That's through November 20th. Bodyweight Boot Camp, presented by Case Cortez, Thursdays in Wayne Ferguson Plaza. It goes through December 19th. Tai Chi in the Plaza, presented by Lowell Johnson, Saturdays, Wayne Ferguson Plaza through November 9th. Pilates in the Plaza, presented by Audrey Green Radier, Saturdays in Wayne Ferguson Plaza through November 16th. And there are 3 exhibitions right now at the in the theater. Conexiones Culturales, Cultural Connections, an art exhibition celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, presented by the City of Lewisville, created by artist Jose Angel Hernandez through November 16th. Pivot, presented by second-year MFA students at UNT, October 25th through November 30th. And New Members Exhibition, presented by the Visual Art League of Lewisville, November 9th through the 10th. That's it.
Thank you, sir. City Secretary, Richard.
No report, Mayor.
Rochelle.
Mayor, City Council, Park fans, got a little bit of an announcement this afternoon. The Parks and Recreation team was up in Denton at the 2024 TRAPS North Region Workshop and Awards Ceremony, and we brought home 3 awards. Angela Llewellyn was Advocate of the Year. Rita Loki was Part-Time Employee of the Year. And Glory Park, Parque La Gloria, brought home the Park Design Excellence Award. So we'll have a formal presentation. We'll let you know before the press release gets out.
Awesome. Thank you.
I just have the lake report this evening at 519.17 feet, or 86.9% full.
Thank you, sir.
Was that, at what time was that?
It was today at 12:37.
Okay, it may have changed since then.
We'll get it in a couple of weeks. Jim?
It does look like we have another class from North Central Texas College here tonight. I noticed them in the back, and they're one of the government classes there, and we just want to thank y'all for being here and having an interest in government. And if you decide you want to work for government, please come back and think of us.
Chief?
Just want to acknowledge a couple things here. So we had the Cub Scout troop out at Castle Hills, did a touch a truck on the 27th, and thank you to the chiefs for bringing trucks out for that event, as well as the Cub Scouts took a tour of the dispatch center in the last couple of weeks here. And I received so much positive feedback on that and so much gratitude from that Cub Scout troop. So thank you again for all you do.
And if you have a group or an organization that wants to learn more about the city, it doesn't have to be Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts. It could be anybody. We'd love for you to come learn more about what the city does for residents.
So I
have a little bit of a supplement to what Bob was talking about, because I actually went to the Grand Theater this weekend to watch The Little Mermaid. My cousin's daughter was Ursula, and she did a great job. Anyway, it was a great show. I highly recommend. It's coming through next weekend too, so if you want to go see it, go see it. I did have a little bit of time to go and check out the art exhibition, and that is probably the second or third time I've done that over the years, and I'm always so impressed with the art pieces that are in there. That it's just incredibly interesting. I really appreciate it. If you've got a day don't really have a whole lot going on, go over there and check it out. They have some really cool stuff there. And I also wanted to mention that we do have the Gift of Art exhibition coming up, where we are accepting artists can submit up to 3 submissions for the annual exhibition and marketplace, which will kick off, I think, at the holiday stroll in December. And so if you're interested in that, please get your submissions in. And also, we have a lacrosse tournament that's happening this weekend at Railroad Park. And if you have never watched lacrosse, it's really, really fun sport to watch. And my son's playing, so I'll be out there. So I'd love to see you. Come take a look.
All right, so it is finally the last night. It's like, for me, if you're a political nerd, you'll be happy to know that we won't see any of those commercials any longer. But tomorrow is the day. If you did not go an early vote, you're waiting till the last minute, then you have to go to your precinct. If you're in Denton County, go to votedenton.gov to find your precinct where you have to go vote. And just go get it done. Whomever you vote for, just go vote and let your voice be heard, or be silent, which we know you won't. That's it.
Did you really just say that? Okay. What he said. That's it.
Okay. Did want to congratulate staff, Keep Lewisville Beautiful, and all of our folks that are outdoors and making sure to maintain our green infrastructure. Lewisville just recently, last week, celebrated our 30th anniversary being recognized as a tree city. And we did that recognition by having a community group and staff go out and plant 630 new plants along Prairie Creek. So we're very excited about that. I mean, that's a huge endeavor. I heard it only took a couple of hours, so that means there was plenty of logistical work that was done ahead of time. So thank you guys so much for all of that. Very excited about it. And we're doing great things with our green infrastructure. So with that, there is no further action to be taken on tonight's agenda, and we stand adjourned. 7:56.